Hello everyone, Specter here and welcome to Star Citizen. Today is the 8th day of the Invictus launch week 2953. So today's the manufacturer will be a lot. So it's including the RSI, Origin, the Argo, Outland, as well as the Tumbril. I remember I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so it means that today the show would be a little bit more ships comparing to the other ships manufacturer. So before further ado, let's get to it first. Alright, so here we are in the RSI Scorpius. It's a heavy fighter, 2-seaters, a pilot and a gunner. It's being said as a X-Wing in Star Citizen because when you unfold these wings, it just split up as an X. So yeah, it's a great ship to fly around. Very high firepower, a lot of missiles as well. Good for fighting. So you can get yourself into the ship via these ladders. This ladder, I would say. So both gunners and pilots will use the same ladder to enter the ship. So this one is a pilot seat, is right at the front of it. And via the same ladder, you can enter the gunner seat. So that's why when the time I was like making a video of the Anvil Hurricane, I would say that the Anvil Hurricane would be a little bit better if you talk about like scrambling the ship, because both gunners and pilots got their own seat in two different hatches. But for the Scorpius, you got a downside as you need to share the same ladder, and both of you will you can see that like if the pilot or gunner, the first person who entered the ship, it turns out the second one need to wait the ladder to retrieve, and then you need to call up the ladder again to enter the ship again. So it turns out it would be a little bit time consuming, and sorry about the lag. Yeah, today is quite laggy. So yeah, it turns out it's not very good for very fast deployment comparing to the Hurricane. And the animation is a little bit odd. Alright, so if you guys really want to fly it around, feel free to for 48 hours. And over here is a RSI Mantis. It's a interdiction ship to pull some ships out of the quantum travel. It's a very good ship to fly around if you're like a single player and you're not playing with a team and stuff. This ship, if you want to travel around, is very good for you. So the design itself is quite good for my standard. The weaponry itself is not strong, of course, but if you talk about like if you really want to do some box delivery missions and stuff, then it would be useful. Alright, so this is the interior of it. Alright, so you got a bed. You got a toilet over here, which is very odd. A small kitchen or gallery. Some ship modules and stuff in here. And the pilot seat is over here. So since you're surrounded by glasses, so your view is very good. So that's why I said that this ship, as a very small ship, is quite good for you to hang around at some remote places. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so here comes the Constellation Phoenix. It's a luxurious type of ship comparing to the other Constellation series of ships. So except for having the cargo bay only, you got a very luxurious interior over here. You still keep the missile rack in here, the side or right underneath the window, you can see it. Those are size 1 missile rack, and you got a Archimedes snuff fighter over here at the back of the ship. So here comes the crew quarter, and that is a bridge over there, which is similar to the other Constellation series of ships. But via here is a very good interior. You got 2 beds in here. And you got some seats in here, a meeting table over there, a bar over here. You can get some drinks in the future, probably, or maybe not. You got a fish tank with a sunk Constellation Phoenix probably inside of here. You got a bathtub that you do not have any kind of buttons to call it out. Master bedroom with a large bed in here with no washroom. That's bad. You got some ship's module at the side of the bathtub. And also in here, got some ship's modules engineering station in here, and a snuff fighter bay in here for the Archimedes. So over here, this floor, you can see there's a button. You can enter the cargo bay via here. So comparing to the other constellations, the cargo bay is a little bit, darker because you do not have any lightings in here. Alright, so let's move on to the other ships. Alright, so here comes the Aquila, or Aquila. I don't know how you say it, but Aquila is my pronunciation of the ship. I know it will raise a lot of argument. So how to distinguish the ship is not about the painting itself, because painting you can change it, but you can see there's a roundish head. So this is the only, or you can say it's a feature of the Aquila. So if you can see the roundish head, you can tell it's a Aquila. The design is similar to the other constellations except for the Phoenix, of course. You got a snuff fighter over here, but it's a Merlin instead of an Archimedes. The Merlin is a kind of downgrade of the Archimedes, I would say, according to its firepower. But of course, it's about the skill of a pilot, not about the ship itself, usually. So I would say the interior would be similar to the other Constellation series of ships, except for the Phoenix. So there's a crew quarter and the bridge over there. So the only differences is that the upper part of the turret is not really a gun, as long as I remember. So it's supposed to be a radar and stuff. Yep, so it's for you to scan the area instead of fighting the hostile ships. Alright. So the interior would be similar to the other constellations, as I said. You got a cargo bay in here. You got an airlock, unlike the Phoenix. Oh, by the way, in the middle you can see some missiles at the side of the ship. Sorry about the lagging. Alright, so here, similar thing for the Phoenix and other constellations. You got an engineer station in here. And you got a snuff fighter bay in here for the Merlin. So for the constellations, we have a very good way to exit the ship by not using the elevators or cargo bay elevator, because we have an airlock in here. So except for the Phoenix, you can leave your constellations via these airlocks, which is very good, so that people cannot climb up from your ship. Climb up to your ship. Alright, so here comes the Constellation Taurus. So why you may ask why I can determine this is the Taurus, is not a Andromeda. Because look at here. So yes, I know that the head is similar, but there's some hints about it. First, the size is a little bit bigger, but of course if you don't put them together you can't tell. One of the hints is that you cannot see the missile rack at the side of the airlock. So let's look at the Aquila here. You got a missile rack at the side of the airlock, right? So those are size 1 missile racks. But for the Taurus, you're missing that kind of thing. So this is one of the hints. And second thing is that at the back of the ship, there's no... So Taurus is the only constellation to do not come up with a snuff fighter. Because at the back of here, will have some secret cargo bay for some reinforced, like, kind of shielding and stuff. So that if you put some illegal stuff in here, you cannot be detected. Which is very good for smuggling something, if you want it. I personally own this Taurus. I'm not this, but own the Taurus. Maybe in the future I will talk about it. So among all the constellations, the Taurus is the cheapest among all of them, no matter it's the real cash price or the in-game price. So over here you can see there's a Andromeda. So this is a combat variant among the Constellation series of ships. You got a missile rack in here, the size 1 missile rack at the side of the airlock, and also the Merlin at the back of the ship. The whole interior would be similar to the Aquila, so I'm not going to get inside of it and take a look, okay? Alright, good. Alright, so here comes the Aurora LN, light fighter among the Aurora series of ships. Compared to the other Aurora, when you buy it, you got 4 guns in here already. Comparing to the other Auroras, you got 2. The other 2, you need to buy it by yourself, so it's a downside. But for the LN itself, 4 weaponries at the beginning is a kind of a little bit advantage compared to the other Auroras. So a long time ago, I made a video about it back in 3.14, which a lot of NPCs over here for some reasons. Alright. Very good looking ship. Okay, so this one is the Scorpius Antares, a new variant of the Scorpius. Comparing to the X-Wing, Scorpius over there, you will see there's no turret on top of it, because you got an extra QED device, which is controlled by the gunner. So the gunners do not have a place for them to kind of operate the turret, but instead they are going to operate the QED drive. So it's going to be able to like launch some EMP devices, as well as you can block someone from escaping from quantum traveling. So I believe that yes, it is okay. The QED drive over here, you can switch it on if you want to block someone from escaping. But for the look itself, it's similar to the Scorpius. So well, yeah. Alright, so let's move on to the center. Okay, so here comes the Ursa Rover, expedition type of vehicle. You can, or you can say that if you're going to escape from the prison, you need it because, well, this is your ticket to get outside of the prison. For now, at least, in Stanton. So, it's a light combat vehicle or light transport. You got some jump seats over here, and also you can put them away and then make some room of it to put some cargo in here. You can see there's a cargo grid in here. So you have a weapon rack in here, and also, yep, you got 2 seats in here for the drivers. It's a fun ship to fly. Not fly. Sorry. It's a very fun vehicle to drive around, I would say. And you got a very tiny staircase in here, which the design itself is very good. And you got a small weapon turret up there as well. So if you can see it up there, it can control by the co-pilot or co-driver. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, right next to the driver. Yeah, you can tell. You can use it for gunning down the hostiles. And over here is I would say it's a new vehicle. I forgot what its name is. A luxurious type of Ursa Rover. What is it called? What's the name of it? Is it a name? Oh wait, I can see it. What? Lynx? Yeah, Lynx, I think is how you call it. Sorry if my pronunciation is wrong, then feel free to correct me. But it's Lynx to me. Alright, so it's a kind of expedition type of vehicle with luxurious interior inside of it. So you can invite some aliens with you and like sit down and have some champagnes and stuff. Which the champagne here, according to the video released by CIG, is gone in here or being taken by someone. You can put some food and drinks over here as well, which is laggy and stuff here again. Alright, so yeah. So over here, compared to the Ursa Rover, you got a little bit more luxurious type of interior for the I would say a little cockpit for the Lynx Rover. And but also you still got your turret up there for defense. So if the alien didn't take your champagne, you can blast them with that cannon. Alright, so let's move on to the other showroom. Alright, here. Wow, so many NPCs stuck in here. Is that the reason why I keep on crashing my game and stuff? Like, oh my god, it got basically just like a bunch of people waiting for the washroom and stuff. Okay, now never mind. So here comes the other showroom for the Outland, Origin, and the Argo. I don't know why the Argo will have some, ships in here for showing us, because for now, as long as I can tell, the Argo do not have any kind of like so-called fighting vehicles. So these are all like the Argo personnel, yeah, MPUV personnel. But in the future, you probably can swap it out. Instead of carrying these kind of troop compartments, you can carry the other stuff like the cargo compartment or the mining compartment. I believe that I saw it in some kind of readings and stuff. Not the ship design though. I'm not that high grade though. Yeah, here. It's a very fun ship to fly around, but it's not a ship for you to purchase for now because same as the Fury. Well, at least the Fury itself, you got some guns, but same as the Fury, you do not come up with the quantum drives for these Argo like MPUV, yeah. I still can't pronounce it. I still cannot remember it. Alright. So, but anyway, if you want to deploy it, some people may love it as like a size 20 torpedoes if you use it correctly by ramming it against some other ships. Like Japanese Titan. Like in World War II, the manned torpedo. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so here comes the Origin. I believe that is the 125A. Is it? Yes. It's a combat variant among the 100 series of ships. So it's a very clean outlook in here, and also it's a very clean interior. You got a very simple like a chair, not a chair, but like a bed. You can see it at some beaches and stuff. It's a very simple kind of bed in here as well. I can't imagine if I lied over here, I probably have some kind of painful feeling on my back because it's quite thin though. And if you open here, you got a cargo bay in here. You can stuck a few person in here, or 2 SU worth of cargo boxes over here. If you want to travel from places to places, this ship is a kind of choice for you. But if you really want to choose it, I would choose a cheaper version of it, which is a 100i, because that is cheaper, of course, and yeah, it didn't really have too much differences, except for this ship got more missiles, while the 100i didn't have that many missiles. And the side of it would be the 325A, is it? Yup, Origin 325A. Combat variants among the 300 series of ships, having a very fast acceleration due to you got a very large engine at the back of it. More missiles, but you can still carrying some cargo at the back of your ship. I believe that I still forgetting like how to open it. You have a button down here to open, I believe. I remember, as long as I can tell, but I forgot which button is it. Like the shiny one. Well, anyway, you can call out the cargo bay in here, so you can put some cargo inside when you're still enjoying the combat feature of the ship. You got a ladder over here to enter the ship. So one of the good things for the 300 series of ships is that you do not have a ramp. So why I would say that this one is quite good, because like in some patches, sometimes the bug of the ramp is keep on appearing. So it means that the ships with ramps usually will have some issues when you enter or leave the ship via the ramp. It will explode. But not for the 300s, because you are using the ladder except for the ramp. So it would be quite good for you to use a 300 series of ships if these kind of bugs appeared again. So you got a washroom over here, which is not open at the beginning. Okay, good. And you got a bed in here, and you got a television over here. If you feel like boring and stuff in the middle of the night, you can call someone to wake them up. And yeah, anyway, so yeah.
Space Industries has been there since the very first Invictus, and looks forward to working closely with the Navy to develop the next generation of
Never mind, I just jumped down here. Alright. And also, comparing to the other 300 series of ships, you got a larger weapon hardpoint in here. You can put a size 4 in here, except for instead of a size 3. So which is much more powerful comparing to the other 300 series of ships. The Mustang Delta, light fighter, and I think it's a few ships, or maybe the only ship with a rocket pod in here. But that rocket pod, for when the time I was testing it, it didn't work. But I remember one of the patches I saw someone really used it against my ship, which had some mysterious explosion right in front of my ship. So I think it's due to the rocket pod that they're firing rockets towards my ship. So this Outland Mustang Delta, it could be a choice for you to kind of fly around, because it's quite good for it's quite agile as well, I would say. So you can just simply enter here and get inside the ship. So since you're surrounded by glass, so it means that as a fighter, you have a very good kind of view in here. The downside is that yeah, in reality, of course, it's not that good, because it looks like you're just sitting on top of a metal plate and you're fighting against the hostiles. But anyway, it's a very good ship to fly around. But if you really just try to use a ship to fly around, I would suggest you to purchase the Alpha if you really want to choose a Mustang, because Alpha is the cheapest among all. Next to it, it would be the Beta. You got the extra interior of it, because you got the backside, you got a bed and a very simple washroom at the back of your ship, and you can put boxes and stuff. But the last time I checked, if you put your stuff at the back of your Beta, the Mustang Beta, then it will fall through the floor when you're traveling, quantum traveling. So not so sure for now, but because I heard it from about it in 317 or 316, I forgot. Alright, so let's move on to the other place. Alright, so yeah, I just got a few seconds away from that Mustang Delta. This is the first time I saw an NPC like acting like this. It's just like it's floating. Anyway, let's move on. I know, like, it's very overcrowded over here. Alright, so here we are, downstairs of the Tumbril showroom. First time I can see so many vehicles in here, because Tumbril is a ground vehicle manufacturer that produces a lot of combat vehicles. So they created a lot of Cyclones here, and except for the RC, which is a racing variant among the Cyclones, you do not showing in here. The other Cyclones are all here. But of course, their product is including this Tumbril Nova, which is like a Makava-like of tank, because Makava in the real world is the only tank that have a back ramp like this, and you can enter via here, and you can enter the gunner seat over here to control the guns, and also you can control the guns via like a pilot seat and stuff. But yeah, anyway, so why they created the Nova like this, I believe that is at the beginning of creating this tank, they do not want to create so many stuff. For example, the new like entering like I mean the actions that entering the tank, they don't want to create a new one, so that's why they create the ramp, so that you can just simply get inside of the tank without any kind of animations created, which is a very smart choice, I would say. It's a ballistic cannons in here, size 5, if I didn't like memorize it wrong, or maybe I memorized it wrong already. Anyway, so it's a ballistic gun in here, 40 rounds, and you got some laser repeaters upstairs for the turret to defend your ship, I mean your tank, from air attacks and stuff. And also you come up with some missiles, but those missiles got some kind of odd angle, you know, it's quite hard to hit something. Personally, I don't use the Nova that much because this ship, I mean this tank is not very useful. You got shields but not very strong, so well, you can destroy it very easily still. So if you're having some role play and stuff, of course you can use it to enter close up to the hostile bunkers and stuff by using this tank, but normally speaking you won't. Alright, so here comes the Cyclones. So you have the MT here, the AA here, you got a TR here, as well as the RN here, I believe that's how you call it. So the MT here is a Cyclone with a turret with ballistic cannon as well as full missiles. It comes up with a very heavy firepower. I believe that if this gun is usable, then I can destroy that Nova anytime, I mean at any moment, without difficulties. So over here you got the AA, which can defend the airspace quite efficient, I would say, but not for the ballista though. If you compare to the ballista, of course this one is not very useful, but yeah, at least you can easily deploy it comparing to the ballista. This one is the TR is the Cyclone with a ballistic Gatling gun here. Which is very nice.
Invictus launch week is a great opportunity to see your taxes.
As well as the RN, the reconnaissance Cyclone. So you do not come up with a turret, but you got a radar or sensor on top of it. Okay. Sorry about pressing something wrong. Alright then, so let's move on. Okay, so here comes a Argo SRV. Yes, SRV. So this is you can say it's a tugboat in Star Citizen, which for some reasons the wall is not covering. Anyway, so it is actively being developing, I would say, and in the future, if you got some, like for example, heavier ships you want to leave the atmosphere, but if you have a hard time to do so, you can use this SRV to help you out by tucking it to leave the airspace. Or if you want to retrieve some wrecks and stuff, this SRV can help you as well. Over here is a Polaris. It's a very huge ship, and also with a hangar on top of it. Yeah, it's a Polaris. You need to have a lot of crew members on board so that you can really like to operate it. You got some like very special heavy torpedoes for the ship, which is quite strong, and you can you can destroy any kind of capital ships once it's hit, or hit multiple times. I don't know. It can like bring a lot of heavy firepower upon your opponents. Over here is a Perseus. Yes, I know there's a lot of things I took it wrong about the Perseus. It come up with a very so-called like heavy armor, which is the heaviest, but no one really can tell what kind of armor and how heavy it would be, or yeah, just according to the lore, it should be a good ship. But no idea how CIG will develop it. I think they need to adjust the size again, or maybe they need to like work around it. Maybe in the future, if they need to like put some armor, I don't know how thick it would be, how it flies, because you may be end up with like a flying brick and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, you got size 7 cannons in here, ballistic cannons though. So those shells are quite deadly if things works out. I hope it will turns out like Ares ions, like the size 7 weapon race. If things turns like that way, then it's very sad for the people who own the Perseus though. Yeah. So comparing to the size itself, you need a few crew to man the ship, which is quite nice. But I need to say that you still need to preserve 1 or 2 personnel, like inside the ship, just in case that some of your ship's components just broke down during the combat. You need them to kind of work on those components, right? You can't just ask some of your crew member who operating the turrets and defensive turrets to go outside and like just simply repair, because you will make one of these weaponries inoperable, which is very bad in the combat. And over here is the is a ranger, I believe. Is it a ranger that you call it? Yep, it's a ranger. So it's a motorbike. It's not a hovercraft, hovercraft, so or hoverbike. So well, yeah, I really want to see these kind of bikes appear in Star Citizen to check them out. Yeah, just like doing some food panders and stuff, the food delivery and stuff. Over here, there's a Tumbril new tank, which is called what is it called? Storm. Yes. Alright, so Tumbril only got 1 tank, or 1 tank in Star Citizen right now. The only tank is the Tonk, the Nova. but they seems like they put out a new design of the tank. This one is using energy weaponry instead of ballistic cannon. It's a remote turret as well. So yeah, I don't know how you get inside the ship though. Is it like from the top? They finally like try to create a new animation of entering the vehicle. That would be great for me. But if they don't, they may have a ramp again at the back or at the front of a ship. Usually would be at the back of a ship. And over here is the origin. I forgot what is that, like a G12. Okay, G12. I think this one is it the anti-air stuff? Or combat? Never mind. So it's a combat variant of the luxurious truck. Yeah, just like putting the Rolls Royce with cannons on top of it or missiles on top of it, which is quite weird. But anyway, this is how Origin really work on their product. Even though they produce a lot of luxurious things, but still they would put guns on it. Yeah, and this one is putting some more guns or missiles on top of it. Today is kind of odd because I worked myself like many times in order to get into a working server that you got some floating NPCs and like falling NPCs and stuff, which is quite weird. But I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.